Hey everybody, my name is Josh Allen. I get to be the worship pastor at Western Reserve, and this is Transparent. I was blessed to grow up in a Christian home. It had a lot of advantages to it, a lot of blessings, but at the same time, not everything was as good as it might have seemed on the outside. Church to me in the Christian life was pretty much an obligation. I grew up in one of those really super strict churches where, you know, if you go to a dance or go to the movies or something like that, it's pretty much the worst thing you could ever do. And so with that, it became a way of life. Everything became very rule-oriented, and you had to live up to this certain standard. And, you know, I didn't measure up, you know. So everything was pretty much an obligation for me. Even playing in the worship team, that's actually how I got my start when I was 15. My mom forced me to play in the worship team for about 3 years, and that's what I had to do. It was an obligation. One of the biggest changes I've ever had in my life is actually when I was 16 years old. I mentioned about I had that church upbringing, and that's what our whole lives pretty much revolved around. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to play basketball. I played basketball for my high school, and to me that was everything. That's what my life was about. It's what I wanted to be. Wasn't interested in anything else. And when I was 16, right after basketball season let out, I had an injury to my back. And part of this is I had to take 3 months off of sports. And it was during this time that God really got a hold of my life, because I realized I had so much anger inside. I was not happy. You see things that are, you at least imagine things about Christianity that are real, but I didn't have it. I didn't get to experience that. I think I was a Christian, but I just didn't have that peace. I didn't have that walk with God. He wasn't really my Lord at that point. So sitting in math class as a sophomore in high school, room 201 at Cuyahoga Falls, obviously math class, I'm not paying attention too much, so I'm sitting in the back thinking, and I said, God, I've just had enough of this, so I want you to have my whole life, whatever that means. I just want to live completely for you. And right there I gave the whole thing to Him. And ever since then, my life has honestly been completely different. That was a huge change when it went from something about my parents and something about my church upbringing to something that was actually happening inside of me. As you're growing up and getting older, you know, late teens to early 20s and even mid-20s, one of the big fears is like, will everything in my life work out okay? You know, like, will I get the right spouse, and will I have the right job, and all those kind of things. And I had those fears just like everybody else. One of the really awesome things about my life is I realized that God really was in control. And even though I would usually mess things up, God just has a way of coming in and trumping my foolishness, as I like to put it. I've got a wife that is unbelievable. We've been married for 6 years. One of my big fears about being a pastor and being in the church was that I would have a marriage that was hurting. And, by God's grace, I don't. I've got a marriage that is good and healthy, and I'm very thankful for that. One of the other biggest privileges of my life is to be here at Western Reserve. I'm telling you, I've been in church world for a long time. I've been a pastor for almost 10 years now. And with that, Western Reserve behind the scenes, it's healthy, it's unbelievable. And I absolutely love being a part of this church. I love being on mission. I love a place where you're able to hear about changed lives. And really, I'm one of those changed lives. I'd never heard about Western Reserve before. God dropped me right in here. I never even officially applied for it. God has a way. Even if you think that how are things going to work out, are things going to go okay, God and His plans and His timing has a way. If you give your life to Jesus, it really is the best. Eyes will turn away.